is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma is so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti, and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
Happy Friday. Yes, yes, yes. We are here. We had a whole wonderful, amazing, extraordinary week. And now we're into our last day for the week. Hopefully everybody's still like moving and grooving in their goals and just moving forward and focusing. I know the biggest thing I always tell people, even though it's Friday, TGIF, that you still, whatever you got to do, I know you get kind of happy because, like, oh, it's the weekend. But still keep moving, keep moving. Saturday's coming, Saturday's coming. But then some people, hey, like me, I do 7 days out the week. I'm doing something. So even though it's Friday and I love it and everything, I still got Saturday. I got to do things Sunday. But you know what? It's just so awesome that when you're doing something that you love and that you enjoy, days go by so quick. I don't know about anybody else, but my days go by. I thought Wednesday was Friday for some reason. I don't know. I bet my days been getting mixed up ever since we've been in this whole COVID thing. It's like because I'm working from home, I'm doing my business from home, I'm doing my regular job during the day, so everything starts to blend in, and it's like, okay, what time is it? Oh, it's 7 o'clock at night. Oh, it's midnight. So yeah, it's just weird how these time frames are going, and you just because you just when your adrenaline's going and when you're just doing things that you like to do, time is just passing. And speaking of time passing, I always tell people take every day, appreciate every day, do that self care, even though you might be going towards your goals, going towards your business, whatever you're doing, special calls, whatever it is, because you're all magnificent out there, and I know you're doing things to basically create an impact in the world. Make sure you're doing your self-care. Make sure you're doing your self-care. Take a relaxation. If it's 5 minutes, if it's 15 minutes. I know some people say, well, I don't have time to do that. I gotta. No, you have time to do that. Your body will talk to you and tell you need to slow it down. You need to take a break. You need to relax. Call a friend. Say hello to somebody on Facebook. Say, how you doing? Something. Make sure you do that. So usually I have my quotes and my motivational like passage or something like that. But today it's going to be what I call the 3 L's that I love to always bring back to everybody. The 3 L's. I have my little thing. See, I always got my little stuff going on. So I have live every moment, laugh every day, and love beyond words. So you want to live every moment, live every second of the day. And then I said, laugh. I'm always laughing. People say, Bar, you always smiling. I said, yeah, because you got to laugh. It takes more to be a frown like this instead of just being happy, just putting a smile. I mean, just me just doing that alone, I feel like I just raised up twice because I put a smile on my face. It's so much easier to do it that way. And then, the last L word that's very important, love beyond words. Love beyond words. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm loving you. I'm loving the support that you're giving me to the Diamond Factor Experience Show. Just if you're just signing in, this is the show to be. I'm loving the experts that are on here. I always want to give so much, praise because people don't have to be here. I have 2 wonderful guests today, and they're both Queen Diamonds, both Queen Lady Diamonds. And I just have to say, it's just amazing all the people that I have been meeting and coming on the show that they're teaching me and inspiring me, to get to that next level. And this one lady, her name is Judy, that's been coming on. And I'm going to do her right by introducing her right. But I just want to say I give her so much, so much. I look at her as a celebrity. I really do. I look at her as a celebrity because you're going to hear her story. And I'm going to do her right by giving the other accolades that she has. But just one thing I want to put out there. One thing I want to put out there is no excuses. No excuses at all. And you're going to see why I'm saying that. I mean, people be making up, trying to, well, I can't do it. I don't know anybody. I can't do it. No. After this, you'll be like, oh no, I got to up my game. I got to up my game to the next level. So remember, no excuses. And with that, I think, let's start the show. I told everybody I have my drum. I'm doing my drum. What is it? Practicing starting in July. Starting in July. Some people did not believe me, and I told them I love the drums. And you know what? I'm going to make it happen. It goes back to what I was just saying. No excuses. No excuses. Hey, if it's something that I want to take on, why not? Why not? I put that out there to everybody else. If you have a goal, if you want to do something just totally different, like out of the ordinary, something you're like, I wouldn't go snorkeling, or going under the sea, because that's one thing I think I would never do. I'm just thinking about that. There's just too many creatures under there that I'd be like, I don't know. But if hey, that might be your thing, do it. Do it. We only have this one life. We only have this one life. Take the time to enjoy and do things that experience certain things that you just kind of like, let me do that. So now, whew, I got to calm myself down because we got a celebrity in the house. I'm telling you. This Queen Diamond, Judy Ambrose James. Now, I'm going to put the titles out there, but all these titles is not, the biggest title is that this woman is undeniable, I can't even fathom the word. She is just amazing to me. Amazing. She's a professional speaker. She's an international speaker. Okay, let's just put it out there. She's a Amazon bestseller author. She's a coach. She's a conqueror. She is a leader. She's an influencer. She's been on more than maybe 50 virtual stage and beyond. She's in certain books, collaboration books that are in highly demand. She is a CEO, Judy Smiles and Gifts, for a retail business. And with all that, this woman, and this is what I'm talking about, the stories in your life. She had a massive stroke in 2007. But what did I say earlier? No excuses. Now you just see all the things that I read. She's doing it right now after that. Okay. Now I know she was phenomenal before the stroke, but she just went up 2 or 5 levels after. So I just have to say that, I mean, it's funny because we've been trying to get her on for the longest. I got to be open here. We've been having issues, the tech world. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it sucks. I just tell people that. And I think it's like her fourth time, maybe fourth time. We're trying to get her on. The sound was messed up. She couldn't get the background, and my sound was messed up. And I'm like, and I told Judy, I said, you know what? This is a sign that we're not going to give up. We're going to be we're going to move forward here, and I want to make sure you get on this show. I don't care what it takes. So she checked on her end. I was adjusting stuff on mine, and she's finally here. And believe me, we checked the sound before we started. We checked the sound before we started. So I just want to bring this royalty on, this celebrity, but I have to always do them right. Let me do this right for her. Here comes Judy. Yes, the queen is in the house.
Yes, I'm here, Barbara. We are together again. Whew.
Like I was just saying, I told him, I said, we have had some, let's just say we got a story behind all this, but you know what? It's coming out, just so awesome right now. You are here. And you know what? I know this was meant to be, because before you were going to be coming on with other wonderful authors, and we were doing the panel discussion. But I think this was meant to be because you need to be on your own interview. You didn't need to be among everybody else, because sometimes you can be on panels and get kind of hidden a little bit because everybody's had to do like 5 seconds here. But this is you. You have all the time to explain your story, to explain who you are. I mean, I'm just in awe. I mean, I've been knowing your bio for a while now, because like I said, we've been trying to connect. And I want you to tell the listeners out there, I mean, first of all, am I right? No excuses. No excuses. No excuse at all.
No
So
excuse.
please share
No.
your wonderful story. Your wonderful story with us.
Well, first of all, Barbara, I want to thank you for having this platform that I can come and share my story and share some love that when I first started, I had a massive stroke, a dural hematoma that led to 2 brain surgeries, 2 craniotomies. After the second, it put me into a coma. And this is between 2007 and the present that I went through each event. But the last one in the coma, I could not, my daughter, the prognosis was not very good. And so everybody prayed. And so my daughter went to church this particular Sunday after everything, and it happened to be Mother's Day. So she went there in First Baptist in Paris Christian, Mississippi, where I'm from. And the congregation brought her up to the altar and they prayed for me. But when she got back to the house, there was no life look in me. Nothing changed. And so she got this stuff. She got where she thought maybe she needed to start preparing for the words, even as far as my funeral. And she bent down to kiss my forehead before leaving the room. And as she backed away, I opened my eyes. Oh my goodness. On Mother's Day. Tell me God don't show up and show out. My God. And when that happened, Barbara, I hit the ground running. Okay. I went to rehab. Yes, that was all part of it. But after rehab, my whole life changed. Now, I was paralyzed on the right side, the dominant side of my body from head to foot. I have no use of my right hand, my right arm, all the way down to my knees. I have no use, but I walk with a quad cane. And let me tell you, I am not going to have that quad cane forever. I'm already walking, talking, and I'm gonna throw it away one day. Because me and God, we talk every morning at 4:00. And God said, you, Judy, just do what I told you to do, and all will be well. But it's going to be in my time. Be patient and obedient. And Barbara, I have been. Let me tell you what it's gotten me, my obedience. My obedience has gotten me to #1 international bestseller. And my chapter in that book is Activate Your Faith. Activate your faith. Because God told me that one day. Between this pandemic, I was watching TV, and the breaking news came on. Breaking news said we had 200,000 deaths.
Yes.
I sit down, Barbara. I sit down and I cry. I cry for people that I don't know, but people all the same from this country. And Look, I looked up at the heavens, and no, I did not question God. I did not ask him what's gonna happen. I asked him, Barbara, what can I do?
Yes.
That was my question. What can I do? Now here I am paralyzed and then gone through all this event. And I just want to ask your listeners, have you ever asked God, what can you do? Instead of asking God for something, ask him, what can I do? Well, I didn't get an answer right away. I continued on with my day, but secretly I was still trying to solve something in my head. You know how when you say you're not, but it's still running around in your head and you still want to know what. And so when I finally stopped, Barbara, stopped thinking about it, these are the words that came. Activate your faith, Judy. Those were the words. And I'm thinking, well, all that I've been through, I have faith. But that's not what God said. He said, activate your faith, Judy. So it meant when you wholeheartedly engage in putting God first. That's what it is. Putting God first. We activate our faith and then we undeniable. We get rid of all limitations. And that's what people are having right now. They are thinking more about their limitations and what if they don't make it? What if they embarrass themselves with trying and it don't happen and everybody is gonna say, I told you so. Barbara, look at me. Look at me. I never thought that I was not going to be at a place in my life that was going to be better than I was before. I always believe that I'm going to be better. When I wake up in the morning, I believe that I'm going to be better than I was yesterday. And that is what keeps me going. When I got a chance to be part of this anthology, Make It Happen, when I heard the words make it happen, that was it. Now, that was the question I asked me, Barbara. Why I chose that anthology.
So before we get into that, Miss Celebrity, because I look at you as a celebrity. Now, before you even got into the book, you have, like I said, I mentioned, you are a CEO of your own company. You have been, because we've been following each other. I
Yes.
see you. It seemed like all the stages I've been, kind of getting on, I see you. I see Judy. And I'm trying to keep up with you, lady. I'm trying to keep up with you. So, I mean, like you said, you just, soon as your daughter did the prayer, kissed you, and it's just like, boom. And you just been like, whoosh. And I'm sitting there like, okay, anytime now, Judy, if I get a headache, if I feel like my stomach hurt, I'd be like, Barbara, shut up. Shut up. Think about Judy, because because
Yes.
while I'm sitting talking about I got a headache, you're already taking 5 or 6 stages speaking somewhere.
Yeah, with a headache
With a headache.
sometimes.
with, with a headache and a stomach and be like, I
Right.
don't feel it, but you do it. So that's what, when you said activate your faith, I love your spirit and your heart, because like you said, you always think about, it's not so much about me, because I went, you went through your thing, but you're looking at, how could
Mhm.
I be a servant, be a tool for somebody in their life? And that's just
Yes.
beyond words.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your company.
Well, Barbara, the way that company came into from a I was just got well, let me see. When I left home after the stroke, my daughter was determined to get me out of the house. But the day before, I had already had a pity party with
Mm.
God, and the God was my only guest. And I asked him, "What am I going to do now?" I said, "God, my whole side, I was a retail manager at Victoria's Secret in Las Vegas, Beau Rivage manager. I've been a retail manager for over 20 years, and now I am paralyzed. I my speech was almost none
Mm.
existing at that time,
Mm.
and I didn't. And I've already been put on disability, which I have. I am not disabled. I'm well able, and I knew this. And so when I had that pity party, I woke up to, if you can't find a reason to smile, borrow mine. That's what God. And it was like he was saying, okay, you don't feel like you can smile, nothing to smile about. Well, borrow my smile.
Mm.
Oh, Barbara. After that, I told my daughter, I said, take me to a print shop. And I took this thing and I put it on t-shirts with a smiley face in the middle. And she pushed my wheelchair to the park where there were vendors set up. She set up a table with the smiley face on it. And while I was sitting there, I felt like a beacon. People saw and they read this and smiled instantly. And that was the beginning of Judy Smiles and Gifts.
Mm-mm-mm. See, it just takes, like you said, all you had to do is step into it, and God got it. And I love how you said you had a pity party
Yeah.
with just one person, and that was God. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. And then
Yes,
after that kind
that's
of moved
it. He
away,
was my only guest.
he was your only guess. I got to use that. I like
And
that.
he left me. He left me with thing, and I again hit the ground running. Even though I was in the wheelchair, I was still hit the ground running. And that's what you have to do. You don't have time to think about it and find all the problems before you even try. No, I didn't. I didn't have much money. I was on disability, but what I could what I could put together, I put together, and I had those short shirts done. And I went out there, not the intentions to make money, but I went out there to be obedient and use what God, and see, when people read the shirt, they just smiled. And that was my mission. Barbara, after they smiled, they started giving me their testimony. Yes, they started giving me their testimony as to either things that had happened to them or someone they knew. And I felt like I was doing the job I was sent out there to do. And they bought shirts, and some of them put them on right on the spot.
You like I said, you have been used as a tool. You a messenger to help others put, to remind them of, smile. I mean, let's enjoy this life, and you can do things that you want to
Yes.
do. And you're in a prime example. You're the leader, you're the influencer. Now, I was just okay. This just popped in my head. I mean, just popped in my head about you. I can see you doing, how, a lot of people are doing these, collaboration books. We were in one together, make it happen. So I can see you, and you might be, you
Yes.
know what, you might be thinking about this already. So I don't even know, this might not even be new. I can see you doing a collaboration book with especially women that move forward, with with any kind of obstacles they have in their way, but they still push through. I can see you doing that type of book.
Yes.
Have you been thinking
Oh,
about it?
yes, Barbara. Yes. Yes, I have been.
I knew it.
Yeah, I have.
I knew it. I knew it.
And Barbara, that's not all, Barbara. Miss Dr. Nicole, I have been, she's kind of taken me under her wing, and because she is so God filled. And she said to me, you need your own show. Yes, that is what she said. And she offered me to be, because she has television network, and she offered me to be on her network once a week. And I was so in awe, because between Kern Cherry, who started this Make It Happen and was out looking for authors, and it just worked out. And she told that if I got a tribe, and I did, and you definitely part of my tribe, Barbara. And I went from there, and now everybody has been calling me. Everybody has been putting me on their podcast. And Barbara, when I came to this, I could barely put two words together. I had the thought, but putting them in some kind of format, I was not working for me. But now, since I started with Kern and with Make It Happen, I am speaking now.
Yes.
I give God the glory.
And you're speaking on more than one stages, lady. Like I said, I've been following you. I've been seeing, and some of them, like I said, we've been on the same stages. I was like, see, I always tell people, once you start a powerful woman, you can't stop her. Once you start talking, that's it. And shut you down.
Yes. Yes. And I'll tell everybody that's watching, Barbara, if they're tired of admiring everybody else and they're wondering when it's going to be their turn, well, they just simply have to activate their faith. Activate your faith. And some, and there are going to be people that's going to come in and say, hey, look, God, that's not what God meant. They're going to try to question the validity of God in the ideas that we have for ourselves. But no, He's opening the door for you. All you have to do is put one foot in front of the other and walk through that door. That's what I did. And I'm not going to tell you nothing that I haven't tried myself.
Oh my God. Judy, you just brought back some memories with that one foot in front of the other.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I was a little kid when I first heard that one. And I loved everything. When it first came on, I did that little, I was walking with them and everything.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that.
Me
See how the
too.
little things, I love that.
Yeah.
See, the little things
Yeah,
like that
me
helps you
too.
move forward. Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God, lady, that was so cute. But
And,
okay, Judy,
and
now I know with our time, see, I need an
yeah,
hour with
no.
you. I need an hour with you. We got to bring you back. We got to bring you back. I'm not letting you go.
Thank-
We got to bring you back.
All right.
So please let everybody know how they can reach you, Queen.
Okay. First would be Judy Smiles and Gifts. Come up there and subscribe and be part of the Activate Your Faith group. I have a movement going, Barbara. I have a real movement. Activate Your Faith movement. And on Facebook, I have an Activate Faith group I'm the admin of, and I have Resilient Women group. So that's the 3 ways that they can find me. And they can wait. I'm sorry. Judy Ambrose James at gmail.com.
Awesome, Judy. So everybody, please reach out. I always do this to all of my queens and kings that come on here. Please reach out to this wonderful celebrity, this wonderful queen. She has a lot of stuff going on. She's going to be doing her own collaboration book. She has her own show. She's going to be having her own show. I mean, she speaks everywhere. Like I told you, I can't keep up with her. And the biggest thing is that to remember to, I'm going to sing that song and put one foot in front of the other. And you see yourself going through that door to success.
Yes,
because you can tell, I mean, Miss Judy did it. We all can do it. Believe me, don't let her beat you out because she will.
Yes.
She will.
I'm telling you, they got to keep up though. And I am going to be on the Comeback Champion Summit.
Me too.
I'm going to be on the cover of Women of Dignity magazine as speaker of the day. And I'm going to be my last place right now, Confident Comeback Club. I do that every Tuesday at 2:00 Central. I'm there. And oh my God. And the list just goes on.
See, that's why I had to get on her schedule, everybody. I had to get on her schedule. You see what she's doing. I mean, she's on magazines. She's, and then summits. Yeah, I had to. So I'm going to have to, as soon as we get off of here, I'm going to have to say, okay, Judy, get me back on your calendar. I know it's a busy schedule. Well, Judy, I love you so much. I wish you many, many, many blessings on top of blessings that you have. And keep just showing people that, hey, no excuses, as I say, no excuses. Thank you, lady. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara.
I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound. 'Cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground.
wonderful. You know, I call all the women that come on the show Queen Diamonds. Royalty. They're royalty. And I have a Queen Diamond coming in that it's, you know, we're going to tell our story, how we met, how we kind of lost each other, and then we came together again. And I'm going to put it out there because I'm vulnerable. It was all my fault. It was all my fault. And I'm so glad that, you know, the universe, and I keep telling her this, that the universe kind of pushed back and said, you two need to talk. What you doing, Barbara? So shame on me. And now that she's coming on the show, and I know we're going to be working with each other. I already feel it. We've been talking to each other. We're going to be collaborating more. But Queen, she is a queen. Carla Cohen, she's coming on. And I'm telling you, you know, when I always talk to the queens, I always dig and say, now, how did you get started? I mean, how did you think about what you do? This woman is an emotional and body intelligent healer. I was like, wow. First of all, I just fascinated with the title alone. And then when you're gonna hear some things of what she does, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, she is a queen. Yes, she is. And her mission, now listen to this. We all have our missions, right? She wants to help over, and I know she's gonna do this, 200,000 women. 200,000. I wrote it down. I said, ooh, that's 200,000 women to make sure they can heal without using drugs, any kind of medical drugs. And you know what? When I heard that, I was like, I need to talk to her because right now, unfortunately, I have high cholesterol. I want to get off of that. I want to get off of that. So she's going to tell us some things, but I got to bring her in the right way. When you have a queen, you got to bring her the right way. So she's going to come right after this. Right after this.
Hi, well, thank you for that. Oh my God, how did you even find that footage? That's amazing. You're like a wizard.
Facebook is my friend.
Oh my God, wow. Yeah, some of those pictures, I'm like, oh.
Oh no, I hope I didn't do oh boy, I hope I didn't do it the wrong way.
No, it's okay. With the one on the back of the yacht, I was like, when I looked at that later, I was like, oh God, that's just so, but it was actually really cool. It was all of these ambassadors from countries over the world, and we were on a yacht for like 2 or 3 hours, just, you know, like doing, just chatting and figuring out how we could all help each other. It was really amazing, actually. I sort of like one of those things where I felt like Cinderella who got invited to the ball, you know. So
wow. It looked nice. I was like, ooh, look at that's a yacht. I gotta get that.
Yeah, on yachts.
Well, you deserve it because I told you. I mean, I just introduced you. You are the queen. You're royalty. So yes, yachts is in your life. So okay, I want you because I kind of started it before I brought you in about how we met a little bit, and then you know we kind of and then I didn't answer some things and I didn't connect, and I blame it on me. I am, but I'm good. But I'm so glad that there's mercy on me right now, and the universe brought us back together. So.
I'm so grateful to you, Barbara, because as I told you off camera, you're one of those people. When I first saw you, you just have such a beautiful heart and personality and dynamic energy, and you got the vulnerability going. And yeah, and you know, that comes across, right? And as a person who believes very much in authenticity and integrity, I look for other people where I sense those qualities are, you know, what's running their life. And so that was what attracted me to you. I'm so happy we finally got to connect, and thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, this is an honor. And I know when we did connect back, because we were in a course last week together, a workshop, and when we seen each other, she looked at me, I looked at her, she said, and then she even said, she said, well, I thought that you didn't want to be bothered with me, so I stopped trying to take you. And I was like, So as soon as we took a break, I remember I think it was the second day I pinged you on, Facebook, and I said, okay, I need you to get on the show. We need to collaborate. Let's talk.
Yes.
And then I made sure I followed up the next day. I said, no, I am not gonna do this. This is not gonna be my fault.
No,
But yeah, so I'm
you
glad that she came on the show.
cleaned it up. Yeah. So just for everybody, I tried to call, I tried to Facebook her, I messaged her, and she sometimes she responded, sometimes she didn't. And then I finally went, well, okay, I was just about ready to throw the towel. And then we got thrown together in this workshop as partners in a breakout room. And it was so cool how it happened. And I think, the lesson for me was, look, first of all, I knew it wasn't personal because there was nothing that had ever happened between us to not like each other. Yeah, but the lesson about being persistent, when you have you feel something, to really pursue it and not give up because maybe you don't get a response right away. So, and that's a good lesson in all of our businesses as well, right? So
yeah. You're right. And just to add to that real quick before we get into your genius of what you do, is that with the breakout room, we didn't only just go to breakout one time. We had to do another breakout room, and we wound up being in the room together again.
That's so, yes, that's right. I forgot.
Remember that?
Yes. Okay.
So I was looking, I was like, okay, throw a brick in my head. You don't have to throw a brick in my head. I know this is the right thing to do. I got to get with her. But that was just so funny because remember we went back and you were like, what? Here we are again. So yeah. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Divine intervention here.
Yeah. And then see, this is another lesson learned, like you said, Carla, is, when you see signs, I always tell people, you get signs in life of certain individuals, that you might have to hook up with, and there's a purpose for it. And you take the signs. I mean, just, don't fight it. Just go with the flow because you never know what's going to blossom. So thank you for that. Yeah. Oh, sure. But let's get to you, lady. I loving, and I always, every time I bring on somebody, I'm just like that real little kid because I really love to understand how you came to your genius, your gifts of what you do. So be an emotional and body intelligent healer. First of all, that is just a cool title for you. But please tell us how, how you just got into it.
Well, I'll tell you, it was really by accident. I had, I could take all day on this, and I know we don't have that much time, but I'll try to do the mini version. But I had a very intense career in public relations in the film industry, in the entertainment industry. And I had clients like Michael Jackson and Rick James and Shaka Khan and Rufus, and I can't even remember all of them, the Bee Gees. There were so many, Bette Midler. And I worked very, very hard, and I worked with the only Black male publicist in the company. We were the largest entertainment public relations company in the world. And he was a crazy perfectionist. He was an amazing man. And what happened before I came to work for him, everybody that worked for him, nobody lasted more than 3 or 4 days. I came, and after, everybody couldn't believe I made it to 2 weeks, and then it was a couple of years. And so we had a great partnership. He taught me a lot about perfection and what I needed to do to be good in business. And anyway, he knew that he was never going to get the money that he deserved at the firm. And so he left to go somewhere else. And everybody thought, since I had shouldered the clients with him, that I would be promoted to take his job. And they actually promoted a man that had nothing to do with any of our clients into the position. So that was my first big, life isn't fair on a big scale kind of thing happened. And
I know that.
So I lost a lot of faith, in the company and whatever. And there was practically a revolt from the people that knew me and knew how hard I'd worked. And so anyway, I went and I ended up, and I got recruited away to another firm, and I became a vice president, but then I just was like, okay, I'm done with this. And I ended up moving into learning about development, which is people who develop stories for film and television. So I would read books, I would write scripts, I would write treatments, and I would package them with talent and then turn around and sell them to a film company or a television company. And so I worked, really as an underling with a lot of people. I wasn't an executive yet, but I just started taking whatever gig I could to learn about it. And I was taking a class in night school, and the teacher saw a paper I wrote and went, wow, he was a producer. And he went, you have to meet my friend. You're the perfect person for this director job of development at this film company that just started up. So I said, okay. I met the guy, and he hired me on the spot, and we became really good friends. And he was also an amazing man who taught me so much. But after 4 months or so, maybe 6 months, I can't remember now exactly, they fired him. And then they didn't ask me, they expected me to take over his job, the same pay that I was making, which was a third of what he was making in his salary.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, right.
I feel your pain. I've been there, done it, still doing it. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately it's so systemic. We people think it's done, but it's not. It's kind of like, anyway. So many things that we think are over with, and they're not. They're just pushed down, so people don't see them, right?
Yeah,
they don't see them
like kind of tucked in. Like.
So anyway, I at this point, when I thought, because of what happened at the PR firm, and because of what happened there, I started to think it was about me not being good enough or working hard enough or whatever. And so I worked harder and harder to prove that I deserved to have, the pay that he was getting and the time. And it ended up that I was working a 70-hour work week, and I started to sleep. My little sofa that was for me reading turned into my cat nap sofa, and my cat naps turned into longer and longer naps. And pretty soon I was not well. And they were probably going to fire me, but I also really, I had to leave. So by the time I went to check myself, I had an elevated white blood cell count that was off the charts and a constant fever, and the doctors didn't know how to help me.
Okay, wow.
So, so that's what launched it. And I'm going to skip a lot of the in-between steps, but I'll just say that there were people that happened just like you and I kind of got thrown together, where I had people showing up who said, you know what, I know that I'm supposed to teach you. Come, like my first experience of that was a meditation teacher who, he was an amazing man, and he when I couldn't pay him, he said, I just want you to give me your word that you'll pay me when you have the money. And I said, don't worry, I will. And then after that, I ended up going to a psychic fair, and I went to, the woman was doing a card reading on me, and she said, oh my God, you've been really, really sick. And I said, yeah. She goes, okay, well, you need energy balancing. I'm like, what's that? She goes, well, I can't really explain it. And I said, well, how much is it? $50. I'm like, okay, well, you have to understand. Now you have to also, I didn't tell you, Barbara, by now it's been 2 years of me being in bed. So 2 years, I went from dynamo to dead in my tracks.
Wow.
I slept out on the patio on a, a chaise lounge every day. I would read some metaphysical literature or books on nutrition or whatever. My mom had to come over and take care of me because I literally could not walk from the bedroom to the bathroom. I was so deflated. I had no energy.
Wow.
And so it was a very terrible time. And I remember the doctor finally said, look, I think you're depressed. So, and we can't find anything else to explain this. So I'm going to give you, which doesn't explain the fever and the white blood cell count. I'm going to give you these, antidepressants. Go take these when you get home. So I was like, okay, I didn't think I was depressed, but I took it anyway because I was still at the stage where I thought doctors knew more than we do. And so I remember when it hit me, I collapsed on the toilet. Literally, I couldn't walk. Like I just was weak as a kid, and everything drained out of me. And I just sat there and I just wept because I hadn't been depressed, but now I was.
It's like you go to the doctor, they tell you that, and now you're depressed. It's like, thank you, doctor, for
for your encouragement, right? So I was very hopeless. I hit a very hopeless place, and I, from a very dynamic person to go to that was pretty. And people were shocked. Everybody who knew me, they didn't know how, they couldn't process it because I was always the one who even when I worked in, I took on other people's work. When I worked in corporate, I would be like, oh, does anybody else need help? Because I could always handle it all, right? Anyway, so I went to the woman finally. Okay, so at the psychic fair, she said $50. That night, somebody gave me a check for $50. Hello. So I called her up and I went, let's do this. And so when I went to her studio to get work done, I laid down on her massage table, and she put her hand on me and she went, oh my God, get off my table. I thought, okay, what's wrong with me now?
Okay. Oh my God. Now you're already going through it, and she's still going to get off the table.
Just cruel jokes, right? And she said, no. The problem is you're a really powerful healer, and you're really psychic, and you don't know boundaries. You don't know. That's why I thought it was so cool that you talked about boundaries at your talk, by the way. And you've been like you're absorbing all this. And so she goes, you're going to be my apprentice. And so we're going to start today. You're going to work on me and you're going to pay me. So she said, I never let anybody work on me. So but you have the gift. So I put my hands on her and I started working on her. Pretty soon I was also doing readings on her. I would never see her clients physically, but I would look on them psychically. And I would tell her what I was picking up, and she said I was always right. And so I was still paying her. So she had a great job. She made money, got healed, got information on her clients while I got trained. What a scam, right? So
at least you got that check for $50. I mean, that kind of helped a little bit to start the process. Wow.
There you go. So that's how it began. And so after that, and I'm really shortening this, but after that, I started people would show up. There was this really gifted psychic in the valley here who was very famous at the time. And she saw me at her in her bookstore, and she went, you need to be in my program. And
wow, everybody's just
like that. Like I teach people like you how to work with what you have. And I'm like, okay, how is it that all of you know more about me than me?
I was about to ask you, Carla. It's like everybody knows about you except you're I'm trying to figure it out here. But we know people will come in your life, and wow, keep going.
So,
I'm loving this.
Oh my God. Well, and I'd had some psychic incidents when I was younger, but I shut it down because my parents accused me of listening in on them. Eavesdropping on conversations, because I would come in and say things, maybe like, oh, you were at the door. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I didn't know what they were saying. I didn't understand why they were saying that, Or I would say something like, make a joke about, oh, yeah, so you probably, I don't know, something about, maybe about when a child was born, and it turned out that the parents actually had conceived out of wedlock, and I didn't know that. I kind of tapped into that when I was making the joke. Do you see what I'm saying? So it was just unconscious. So
your gift was when you were younger. You had the gift. You just wasn't. You kind of, like you said, was kind of brushing off, and then especially parents where they're like, stop eavesdropping. They're like, okay, they think I'm eavesdropping. Okay, let me let it go. No, not knowing that the gift was percolating, as I call it, in you.
And I got punished for that, so it was pretty intense. And there's a lot of people out there that maybe have not woken up, or maybe who have similar stories out there that can probably relate to this. If you're listening, I feel you, because it's like. So So anyway, so that was I became so the psychic took me under her wing. She actually taught me that I could do things that I didn't even know I could do. She handed me jewelry and asked me to tell her what I thought, what was going on, and I would tell her stuff, and she'd go, "Yeah, that's right," and that person does have a cat like that, or whatever. And I'd be like, I was just clueless, right? So. I should call my work from clueless to clarity. But anyway, so anyway.
Of course.
So
we're still thinking here.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a great course that we were in together.
It
And
was, believe me, yes, Carla. I'm still working on stuff to, like you did, to and from, like you say, like she said.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a whole list of those, but which one do I pick? So anyway, I ended up traveling around the world, basically trying to heal myself, but at the same time, I was learning from all these wonderful people. I had a Lakota Indian chief take me into a sweat lodge numerous times, which was very funny. So he could teach me stuff that he couldn't teach to other people. And I have to tell you, the first sweat lodge, in his sweat lodge, I wore a bathing suit, right? It's very, it's most normally people don't wear anything, but I'm, modest, right? And anyway, so so you do all these prayers and it's really hot and smoky and you're getting purified. And I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. So I don't realize how dehydrated I am. I go to the door to get out and I literally collapsed in the dirt face down, because the heat was intense, and
you're like,
and he took a cold bucket of water and unceremoniously threw it on me to bring me back to consciousness.
Oh my God,
this is just, so yeah, and so
that was interesting.
I had another guy who initiated me. He was an Australian Swami, and he literally put snakes all over me. He hit me on the head with a broom several times, and then put snakes all over my body. And it was as part of my initiation to learn whatever he had to give me. There was just all these, not everything was that bizarre, but there were from the bizarre to very normal.
That is why. So now,
right?
Me and snakes, don't get along. How did you? I mean, I know. I'm just curious. Like, my God, Carly, this snake. Oh, but I mean, people tell me, they said, Barbara, snakes are really not bad. I mean, people try to explain to me when because they can really sense things from people. So I was like, I don't know if I want nothing to be
Well,
I try to be open, but
yeah, no, it wasn't. It was actually pretty cool once I relaxed. But at first, I was not a happy girl, and I found that they were really, really nice and sweet, kind of, and gentle energy. So.
They said they have a lot of energy. I heard they have a lot of energy, and then they can feel other energy. And I was like, okay. I said, I got to get away from on me.
Oh my God. So so that was, I did some things like that, but then I apprenticed with, a man who's really good at body language, and another gentleman who, all my mentors now have passed on, unfortunately. I was so blessed because I had some fabulous people teach me different things. And then I sort of went on to more, I went from the esoteric to the more like grounded. I studied sports medicine, massage. I ended up in a sports medicine clinic. I had a 2-month waiting list for people to get in to see me because I had such good results. It got kind of ridiculous because they were like, I don't want to see the doctor. I just want to see her, So I did that, and then and I just started integrating this, and eventually I got certified in brain profiling, which has to do with emotional intelligence, and I added all of that. So what I do is with my work is I bring together, the science, right, with the sort of the spiritual aspects to help people heal, and because we're not our body, and we're not even our mind. Our mind isn't our brain. Our mind is, right? We're consciousness, and so so when I work with people now, it's all about helping them understand. Well, they don't necessarily understand, but sometimes they understand. I will help them remove those things that they're holding on to in their tissue that are causing them to recreate the circumstances that are causing problems or patterns in their life. So, or to causing the pain or causing the struggle or whatever it is. So, we also ran into each other at Global Women. And so, another couple of things I did with them, I also ended up being part of a book that so there's.
You did be part of the book. Yeah.
Well, I did this
one.
This one, and Women in the Modern Business World. And this one is a 2-time bestseller now. It made bestseller in Germany, and So, yeah.
International.
International.
Yes.
Woohoo! So, yeah, so,
Love
so
it.
yeah, so that's kind of what I do. So as I work with people, it becomes really, the emotional intelligence part becomes very important, because a lot of the things that we call disease, are really it's a physiological manifestation of either an emotion, a trauma, or a pattern that's stuck in the body most of the time. And even things, people go, well, that doesn't explain how I got cancer. I'm like, well, cancer doesn't happen overnight, for example. It's a long process, and just like any other illness that people have, most people only see their illness by the time it's manifested. And a lot of what I teach now in my workshops is, how do you start to sense what's going on before you get to that place? And how do we recorrect your path before you get to that place? Right?
See, that's, yeah. So so now getting to, because I know, dang, I wish I could talk to you for hours. But I want to get, I'm sitting, I feel like we're just in the living room together, just talking, and this is good. But I want to get to your mission. Now, I'm loving where you said you want to help at least 200,000, especially women. Is it for women, right?
Well, it's mostly,
or just both, women and men, right? To
it's
basically
mostly women.
To get off of that medication and basically say, look, let's do this in a natural sense. So now, do you approach it? Because I know everybody might have different, medical issues. I know just example for myself, I'm on, like I said, I'm vulnerable. My cholesterol's been high, is elevated, high, basically, and I take cholesterol medication. I'm also asthmatic, so I have to do the inhaler, a rescue inhaler, of course, just in case. And then I'm a small portion of steroid, which I hate, because I feel like that's what blows me up. And no matter what I do to try to lose weight and stuff, it's like, really? So with me, I would probably need you to heal me quickly. I need you to tell me, Barbara, we got to work with you with this.
Yeah, Barbara, we got to work with you on this. So, I typically take a holistic approach, because I'm drawing from so much now that I have so many, a lot of tools in my toolkit. So, yes, well, let me explain that. Going back, thank you for saying my mission, because that is truly what I want to do. I now have not taken a prescription or an over-the-counter medication in over 30 years. So I want to preface it with that. I've traveled all over the world. We'll see how I do with COVID. I'm not planning on getting vaccinated, because I use all these other things to support my immune system. And I have my reasons for that. I think everybody has to find their lane. I'm not preaching one way or another. You do what you need to do that makes you feel comfortable. I'll just say that. But I don't say I can't replace a doctor. There are times when a doctor is a really good call for people. But there's also a lot of dependence on going to the outside for these answers. And a lot of these things are preventable. And even if they have already manifested, we can usually at least turn the tide somewhat with somebody. I have a pretty high success rate. It's about 99%.
I think that's a good success rate.
But
just to let everybody know, she said 99%. That's all I want to say. Go ahead.
Not 100. Yeah, not 100. The perfectionist in me wants.
It's one little percent. I think I can let it go.
Yeah, but it really is working from so many different aspects. So depending on how I can work with somebody, like you were in a different city, so I would work with you differently than somebody who is here in Los Angeles. Like I'm not actually in Los Angeles. I'm in Long Beach, which is south of LA. So people who are near me or who fly in, I have people who fly in too. But so we might look at your nutrition. We might look at what's going on in toxins around your household. There's a lot of things I would start with. I kind of go for simple, and then we start to get more, whatever. Now I can do, sessions over Zoom, and I do, where I help people heal from different things. I also have people come in here and I physically work on them with my hands. And that's the cool stuff that I do for me. It's all cool, but especially cool for me and always a sense of wonder is that I put my hands on somebody and I'm literally able to read the tissue like it's reading a book for me. And so
That is
people
just
say it's
amazing.
cool.
That's cool. But now, see, what the cool part is, I mean, just to add to this, what you said that you can, because, I'm not in California. I would love to be there so you can do that with me and help me out, but
Right.
I'm not flying too soon. Too soon. I mean, it's going to happen. We're gonna get back to where we need to go. But, now that right now that we're in two different places, you said we can go on Zoom and then you can still kind of, help me through, that, right? That's
Yeah, I still, yeah, I do. It's a combination of coaching and then doing some work on your emotional body. So usually is how I work with people. And so, and I found that to be very effective. I mean, the places, there really is, there's mindset that goes in, there's so much that goes into it, and I had, one of my 1%ers was a woman who said, oh, I did this and it didn't work. Nothing works. And I did this and nothing works. And I did this and nothing works. And she had so brainwashed herself into nothing works that I tried to process her on that. But it was so embedded, I couldn't even, it was a rock hard belief system,
She was, Carla, that 1%, I don't even count that one because she was so hardcore on saying it didn't work. You know how some people, their mindset is there. So no matter how much you tell them.
Right. So there are a lot of factors. There's nutrition. There's, I might work with somebody on vitamins. I might do, emotional intelligence work. I have a workshop coming up actually where we are pulling in a lot of the tools. There's a free one. I don't know if that's happening, but there's a free one this Saturday. I'll just say there is. And if you're interested in that, just go to healwithcarla.com and you can sign up for that. If you're interested, you can also reach out to me on Facebook and message me and say, hey, I want to talk to you about sessions or whatever. Or Barbara has information also. Feel free to link up.
Yeah, because we're buddies now. I mean, we're
we're gonna be talking to you.
They get to me to get to you.
Yeah. So
I know how to get her.
She does. And I also one of the other things I didn't mention is I've been working also as part of what I do. I've been working with essential oils for like 18 years. So I've harvested and helped distill them, and so I know I also do a fair amount of work with that as well. So there's a lot of pieces that I like to draw from with people. And we have so many, this is literally, your body is your biography. So everything that's ever happened is here in cellular memory. And it's so much more efficient to change the body and then have the mind change than try to change the mind and have the body change. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah,
Carla, we have to bring you back. You're going to do like In fact, we might do like small sessions and bring you on the show all the time. You're going to be one of the. I might have to get you as one of the experts. So yeah, we can talk. This is amazing, and I know this would help. See, I want to help you get. See, this is what I'm talking about collaboration now. I want to help you, just maybe just a little tool for you to get to up to those 200,000 people to get off the, taking the medication as being, healthy in that other way that we should be.
Well, I would love that because I'm definitely committed to this, and I know there's so many women out there who are also in the hopeless stage that I was and just don't know where to go. I've had a few of them on my table. Yeah. So so I love that.
So
Thank
let
you.
everybody know how they can contact you again, and then we will definitely talk so we can bring you back.
Okay. So I think the best thing is like I said, you can go to healwithcarla.com, and that's my free webinar on Saturday. We're still got some IT problems with that thing, so I also want everybody to reach out to me on Facebook. Private message me and tell me that you saw me on this show, because I want to be able to know who came from there, and so I can thank Barbara also. And if you can also put your phone number when you PM me, so I really like to, I prefer to do, individual contact, but so we can connect, and I'll try to help you however I can, and we'll see where it goes. I do offer packages and things like that for people who are interested in more like, hey, I just want some healing right now. But there is a workshop coming up on May 25th. It's a no-brainer. Actually, it's 21 days, and you can when you can sign up. Also, it's called, the website is healwithcarla.com/ignite, and it's $97, and it's 21 days. So pretty good workshop. But message me if you sign up, because there's IT problems we've been having. So, thanks, Barbara.
Okay, and as I do this to everybody when I have them on the show, and I'm going to go real close to the screen. Support. No, I'm talking to listeners. Support my friend here. Reach out to her. I bring these guests on. I get on my soapbox. I bring the guests on and the experts on because they have a gift that they're sharing with you, and they don't have to. I mean, Carla's busy. Believe me, she could have been like, you know what, Barbara, I love you, but she didn't do that. She opened up her heart. She came on the show. She told you her story, which is like, oh my God, I had to keep crying a little bit because of the stuff that she went through. And she has this gift of healing. And this is what we need. It's just it's a spiritual, natural thing that really we all need, more so than all this other stuff that we're putting in our body. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, Carla, can you say, because I told you I didn't want to mess up your full name, so can you tell everybody your full name for me?
Yes, it's Carla Sridevi Cohen, and that's my spiritual name in the middle there. And that was given to me by somebody, an Indian saint who's hugged over 35 million people.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I got to bring you back. Now, that's a whole other story we got to talk about. Oh, my God. I see why you got a name from. That's awesome. So, lady, thank you so much, Queen. Like I said, you are royalty, and we will see each other. Like I said, we will be talking to kind of bring you back on. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, you too. All right, bye-bye.
There's that mic. Mic check, mic check. You're on mute. That's okay. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. I just have to say, love the two wonderful interviews that told you royalty, Queen Diamonds. Oh, Miss Judy, I need to have her back. She's such an inspiration. It just reminds you that there's no limits. No, don't put no limitations on yourself. None. I don't care. People will try to put those limits. People, places, and things will love to put limitations on you at times, but don't, just keep moving forward. Have that faith, as she said. Activate that faith, and you can do wonders. You can do a whole lot. Sometimes you're going to look at yourself and say, what Urkel used to say, did I do that? It's going to get to that point. You'll be like, I'm in a book. I'm speaking. I got a show. I mean, and literally, I'm saying all this and looking back at me because I'm still like in awe that I have a show on that's creating so many viewers under a certain network, and it's not me though. I always tell people I can't say it's all Barbara, oh whatever. No, it's not me at all. It is basically everyone that comes on this show, everyone, the people that are viewing this show, every, the background, everything, the sponsors, it makes the show. So again, I just want to make sure, and the biggest mission for this show is to make sure I give you value, I give you motivation, and give you a little education here and there, and to inspire you to say you are amazing, awesome. Your PPD is in the house, as I call it. Your purpose, passion, and drive. It's in you. It's your foundation. That's what I call the diamond factor. And remember, as I started off, my little thing here, live every moment, laugh every day, and love beyond words. Do the 3 L's today and the rest of the weekend. We will see you on Monday with Mr. Master Happiness himself, Marty Jalove. He'll be teaching us how to sell and market, not in the silly market way. And I love how he takes that approach. And then we'll hear from the lovely queen, Brandy, and she talks about personality, relationships, and just different tips to think about. So tell your friends, tell your family to sign on next Monday. We're 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here. You can get me on the Facebook, my Facebook page, YouTube channel, The Diamond Factor Experience, E360 Network. We are all over the place, Roku and Amazon Prime and all that stuff. So we're out there. Diamond Factor Show is out there. So see you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Well, the end of this week, your weekend. See you on Monday. And remember, as I always say, shine like that wonderful diamond that you have in you. And that is your PPD. See you on Monday.